A dog barking on the balcony going a little bonkers, so if you hear the dog barking, there's nothing I could do about that. I'm wearing a hat and it's in Miami, mainly because it was in my camera bag because I was doing another video the other day and I didn't remove it yet. It looks like a cute dog, but it also looks like the type of dog that'll bite you. Okay, so we'll try to like edit out the dog as much as possible. Okay, so I wanted to do a little drop of a clarification on how to handle things at Disney, and maybe you're wondering why I chose to make a complaint that day at Port Orleans Riverside versus a video that I just posted where I actually mentioned keeping things to yourself and not trying to get through your vacation and not having security hone in on you and all that. So I'm going to talk about why I chose to make a complaint that day at Port Orleans Riverside when I had the creepy incident with a cast member regarding room inspection. So you could go watch that video. Just a small recap: Disney does room inspections. I had a cast member who spoke to me inappropriately, and I did make a complaint against that cast member while I was on vacation. I think it was only like 2 days in on my vacation of like an 8-night stay at Port Orleans Riverside. I recently published a video and I'm like, keep it to yourself. Just try to get through your vacation because you don't want, security, honing in on you or throwing you out of the resort, who knows what. So the reason that I made a complaint against this cast member instead of taking the advice I put out in the other video is that he was not letting the situation go. So he came to my room and he got real creepy real fast, and I'm like, what's going on? I'm paying to be at a hotel. This guy's getting real creepy. And he immediately switches gears and then is like, well, I'm going to make a complaint against you. So he switches gears very quickly. I think he realized that he was creepy, and in order to save himself, he was then going to gaslight the situation. So he's like, maybe I need to make a complaint against you. That was one of the first things he said when he realized that I was upset. And I'm like, make a complaint against me on what? He's like, oh, well, you're questioning me and you're questioning things here. And it's like, and he made it very clear that he was going to make a complaint against me, that he was going to go to security on me. He was going to go to the front office of the hotel and make a complaint against me that I was questioning why he was at my room to inspect my room. So I had to go and get help from people at the front desk office and say, this cast member is like totally lost his mind and he's essentially coming after me. And they took it seriously, but they also went very heavily into Disney defense mode. So they tried to come to my room to talk to me. I'm like, no, you're going to talk to me in front of everyone in the lobby. And they apologized for his behavior, and they tried like twisting the situation, saying he had a bad day, shouldn't have talked to you in that way. And I was like, okay, you're doing this room inspection, which is bizarre for guests. But I said, you need to send someone else because I can't have this creepy man coming back to my room. So they said that wasn't a problem. Of course, like I had mentioned in my other videos, this guy returns. He continues to be creepy. He harassed me the entire trip. He was waving at me and cackling. He came back to my room for the room inspection. He was inside my room with the door closed, with his back close up against the door. Is there anything you want to talk to me about? Is there anything you want to like share with me or talk to me about? It's like I'm paying hundreds of dollars a night to stay at Port Orleans Riverside, and I got some weirdo in my room, like really creepy, harassing me. Luckily, I wasn't alone. Obviously, then you never know. But this dude was very messed up, and you can't be like, oh, it's at Disney. What's going to happen at Disney? It's like Sheriff Grady Judd holds up people's photos all the time on cast members gone wild at Disney. And it's like, just because someone has a job at Disney doesn't mean that they're not capable of A, B, or C. So I made a complaint because I had to. He was going to make a complaint against me, but it ruined my trip because I continued to be harassed by him the entire trip. And I didn't know at that point if basically I was going to come back to my room one day and see like the blinky light on the phone with security wanting to talk to me. I know that they called me multiple times from the hotel, and the phone conversation basically went like this: are you okay? Are you happy? Are you satisfied? Are you going to complain anymore? Or are you letting this go? That's basically what they were asking. They credited me back $50 and told me to go eat some beignets. It was just not a good situation. I felt very uneasy the rest of the trip. It has created quite a situation where I feel like I'll never not go to Disney again. Of course, I'll go to Disney again. But honestly, maybe I'd actually stay at a Universal hotel and then commute to go to Disney because it's only 20 minutes away. Because to stay at another Disney hotel and then go through a room inspection or a harassment again where you're on their playing field at their hotel sounds like a nightmare. So realize that when you have an incident happen at Disney, unfortunately, they're not your friend. You have to realize that they, out of all the companies I can even think of, cruises, Universal, other companies, they really go into Disney mode. When you have an incident, they will take that incident, they will twist it so far that you don't know how you got from point A to point C. In other words, you got a slip and fall and you make a complaint and you find yourself being told you're escorted out of the property or you're escorted out of the hotel. It's like, how did we get to this point? They will go into Disney mode like you've never seen. They are known for that. They're notorious for that. You just have to keep that in mind. That's why in a previous video I had mentioned that if you ever have an incident at Disney and it's something that you feel like you need to complain about to corporate, don't do it while you're on vacation. Try to get through your vacation, get home, then send an email to corporate, because there's a very strong chance you make a complaint that they're going to go into Disney mode. You'll see, security wants to talk to you. They'll try to throw you out of the resort. Who knows? So, but in my situation, I had to say something. When I had the situation happen with security at Disney, where the security guy was a creeper and he was literally wanding my butt with the wander just because he was a creeper. There was no reason for him to be doing that. I was wearing spandex shorts. If anything, I should have been dress coded wearing those shorts. They had no pockets to them. They were like skin tight, like they almost looked like a bathing suit material. But this dude was full on wanting my butt. I did not make a complaint. They, other than these videos, which I'm sure they watched, I never actually told them about that incident, because I knew that if I went, that happened at the Polynesian security checkpoint getting on the monorail. If I had gone back into the lobby at the Polynesian and asked to speak to a floor manager about that incident, you can bet that they would have called security and twisted the situation and said, well, what did you do? Maybe you did something and that's why he was looking at you, and then you get upset. Oh, you're hostile. I can see you've got an anger problem. Oh, you're yelling at me when you're like silent. You're just like, I'm not yelling at you. And you find that everything is being twisted and blown out of proportion. So I learned, just from observing how they behave with other people. For example, you had a family that made the news. You had an incident at Disney where a family that was spending huge money staying at the Riviera Hotel had a incident that was not their fault, and they threw both parties out of the resort. They didn't care. And that is often what they will do. They'll throw everyone out involved because they've gone into Disney mode. And that's what they are known for, way beyond any other company that I've ever seen. They are just notorious for Disney mode, where they, you don't know what to expect with how they treat their guests. It doesn't make for a very relaxing vacation to, number one, go through Disney room inspections, and then to be harassed by a lot of cast members there. Not everyone, obviously, but they've got quite a few cast members working there. They're not seeming like they should be at a theme park. They really shouldn't. These are the type of people that shouldn't be around families. People who unemployable, essentially, especially at a theme park with families. And that's one of the reasons that, quite honestly, I have switched over to Universal Studios. Universal Studios, like I said, I'm always going to be honest. Universal Studios has its pluses and it has its cons. There's cons with Universal related to maintenance issues, and I think that they need to do better with their aesthetic and maintenance, and some other issues and security. Like, they need to improve on some elements. But I can say that when I was at Universal Studios, the security seemed very nice. They didn't give me any problem. I didn't feel harassed by them in any way, the security. I wasn't monitored in what I was wearing. There was no room inspections. Everything seemed to flow in that sense. Everything was normal. If anything, there was a lack of security at Universal Studios where they needed to crack down on things. I mean, I saw a woman walking through Universal Studios smoking. She was in the Harry Potter area, before you go into Harry Potter World by the Purple Bus, just freely smoking and walking around. And she passed a lot of different cast members and no one said anything. So If anything, they need to sharpen their security at Universal Studios, whereas Disney, it's Disney mode, and you got to be prepared for how that feels at Disney. And again, that's one of the reasons why I have switched over to Universal Studios. I will go back to Disney primarily to film content for you guys. I don't really, like, in the back of my mind, I'm not like, I really want to go to Disney World. But eventually I will go there to film content for you. But there's a reason I have an annual pass at Universal Studios and an annual pass technically at Disney still that is expiring, which I am letting expire because I will not be renewing my Disney annual pass right now. You know, when in the future I go again, I'll worry about if I'm getting a day ticket, if I'm just going to Disney Springs, if I'm just filming a hotel. We'll worry about it when, you know, I go there. But right now I have an annual pass to Universal, so that's what we're working with, and I'm going back there real soon. So stay tuned for those vlogs at Universal Studios. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. The dog says hello. And see you soon in my next video, and bye.